I was talking a little bit about these yesterday before Joey had to go, but we're going to go ahead and talk about them a bit more today. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see everything. So we have this. This is also in LA. 11 suspected gang members arrested in sex trafficking ring along Figueroa corridor in South LA. Let's just watch this video here.
From a loudspeaker and with a drone high above this home on Scarsdale Street in Riverside, agents moved in on the ground, detaining multiple people inside the home, but ultimately arresting this man, 22-year-old Matthew Brooks. But this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather a large-scale operation, with the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing charges against 11 suspected gang members in all, facing charges for an alleged sex trafficking.
I wonder if they purposefully picked the photos of them with just an array of cash, or if, like, those are just the best photos they could find of each of them. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if, like, they purposefully picked all of the videos, all the pictures of them holding wads of cash, or if this is just happens to be the best images of each and every one of them. Sorry. This is a serious story. I shouldn't be laughing. It's just, I like to make humor out of things. I apologize.
Trafficking operation that spanned the Figueroa corridor of Los Angeles.
The allegations in the indictment are horrendous. We're talking about women and children as young as 14 years old being pimped out for sex in these motels, and they were kidnapping them, they were drugging them, they were beating them, they were raping them.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said many of the suspects are pimps, recruiting their victims through social media and then branding them with tattoos of their street names. According to the indictment, the suspects would intimidate and threaten their alleged victims, forcing them to find Johns to have sex with, often multiple times per evening, and forcing them to pay a large portion of that money back to the suspects. In one incident, the indictment alleged that 3 of the suspects tried to kidnap 2 victims and force them into their car. Those victims were able to get away. As for Brooks, the suspect from Riverside, the indictment accuses him of stabbing one alleged victim with a pair of scissors, yanking out her earrings until she bled, and on multiple occasions beating her and locking her in a bedroom with no escape route.
Anyone who's engaged in this behavior, we're coming for you. You may think you're above the law or out of the reach of the law. You're not. And just like these individuals had a wake-up call this morning, your door could be next. And we got more of these cases coming.
Damn, that's a nice neighborhood, too.
And according to the indictment, some of the...
Your door could be next.
That's not a low-income neighborhood. I mean, these guys were making money. These are not cheap houses. These are nicer than a lot of the houses in the area I live. And I'm that's not to say I live in a wealthy area. I'm just saying, like, because I don't live in a wealthy house or a wealthy area. I'm just saying, like, the wealthy parts of where I live, even those wealthy areas wouldn't compare to this. So, like, what the heck, you know? If I can get just one in the chat, I'll go to the gym. Yeah, everyone put 1 in the chat. 1's in the chat to make Killing It go to the gym. 1 in the chat. Got to give him that encouragement. Give him that encouragement, guys. Go to the gym, Killing It. I believe in you. You got this, man. It'll feel great. You know it will. Hope I can renew my membership after my birthday. There you go. Yeah, 1's in the chat, boys. 1's in the chat. Gotta give Killing It that encouragement. But anyway, back to the story here. So, yeah, so it says 11 suspected gang members are facing federal charges for allegedly participating in a massive sex trafficking ring along the, South Los Angeles corridor. The prosecutors announced on Wednesday. So, big win for the DOJ. DOJ, there's a couple of stories we're going to be talking about about this. But overarching point in this that I want to bring up, I don't need to read it. We played the video. It basically is just rehashing what was said in the video. People like this, I mean, prison is supposed to be for rehabilitation, which the United States prison system currently is not set up to do that. Can people like this be rehabilitated? That's my question for this story and the next 2 stories. Can individuals like this be rehabilitated? Can they be retaught? Can they be shown manners? Can they be shown respect? Can they be shown human decency? Can they change their ways is ultimately what I'm asking. And if the answer is no, then you just put them in prison for the rest of their life. There's no, 20 years and they get out. 15 years they get out. 20 years they get out. 40 years even they get out. No, a lot of these guys are in their 20s. They get 40, 50, even 60 years. I don't want them on the street at 60. I don't want them on the street at 70. I don't want them on the street at 80 or 90. I don't want them on the street, period. I just don't want them on the street. People like this, if they cannot be rehabilitated, people that commit crimes like this, you're committing... Let's talk about the crimes they committed, right? You're beating women. It doesn't even have to be a sex thing. You're beating people. You're trying to kidnap people. You're stabbing people, forcing them into, sexual favors, all kinds of things. You're branding them, physically branding them with your name as a tattoo. Imagine that, right? Like I said with Joey yesterday, imagine that. You get abused. You're getting abused by this person just day in, day out. Sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse. And then to top it all off, even if you get away from him, they have you branded so that you have their name, the name of your abuser on you at all times. No. I mean, people like that are so sick, twisted, and demented that I don't think they can be rehabilitated. No one died in this situation. But they should spend the rest of their lives in prison. Absolutely. You can't rehabilitate people like this. I'm sorry if that's not how other people feel, but prison for life or just capital punishment. That's where I'm at with people like this. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting. We're going to move to another story similar to this. So this story and the next two that I'm about to pull up are all massive wins from the Department of Justice. I really love to see our government actually putting criminals behind bars. We have this from Fox. The DOJ to charge 5 alleged Mexican cartel leaders touts extraordinary police work that led to the indictments. A senior DOJ official said a hit-and-run case in Tennessee from 2019 has led to an international takedown of cartel members. Let's read. The Department of Justice announced on Thursday it brought criminal. Okay. The Department of Justice announced on Thursday it brought criminal charges against 5 fugitives who are allegedly senior leaders of the United Cartels, a designated foreign terrorist organization and involved in a massive drug distribution network. DOJ Criminal Division Head Matthew Goletti said the indictments marked a significant step in the DOJ's mission to eradicate the organization and came as a result of extraordinary police work. The investigation began in a small town in Middle America and led to a clandestine methamphetamine laboratory in Michoacan, Mexico. I don't speak foreign languages. Sorry, guys. This case demonstrates our relentless pursuit of cartel leaders who flood our communities with illegal drugs and terrorize citizens on both sides of our borders with violence. So it says the really interesting part about this case is that the investigation, how it unfolded, from a local town in Tennessee all the way to an international takedown, and we wanted to give you a little bit of detail about that. So let's hear the detail. I want the details. Where are the details? The case started as a regional hit-and-run incident involving 2 people in Rockwood, Tennessee. The police discovered the pair were methamphetamine dealers, and through investigative work, they were led to a vast narcotic distribution network in the Atlanta area. After a series of actions, including conducting surveillance outside a hotel, engaging in a high-speed shootout, and executing search warrants in Georgia, they eventually discovered what totaled to be 950 kilograms of methamphetamine. Phones were seized during the operation, allowed investigators to make the connection to Michoacan. The key thing about this case is that actually quite well demonstrates the perils of what's going on and these high-level narco-terrorists abroad and the impacts of that it has on the local communities and on our streets. The shootout involved a man named Cody Seals, who was sentenced last year to 30 years in prison for conspiring to distribute illicit drugs and attempting to murder 2 Tennessee Highway Patrol officers. One of the troopers was wounded in the leg while Seals was shot in the head and survived. Wow, that's miraculous. Police discovered more than 1 kilogram of methamphetamine in Seals' vehicle at the time. The Trump administration took a whole of government approach to addressing the United Cartels. In addition to the indictments unveiled Thursday, the Treasury Department announced economic sanctions against several of the alleged leaders, and the department announced $26 million in rewards for information leading to the arrest of the 5 defendants who remain at large. The 5 men have allegedly been involved in decades-long conspiracy to manufacture and distribute methamphetamine, cocaine, and fentanyl, including into the United States. They face drug trafficking, firearms charges that carry maximum penalties of life in prison. Today's charges are designated to dismantle the United Cartels and bring their leaders to justice for unleashing death and destruction on American citizens. Absolutely really cool story. So, again, this all started in Tennessee with a hit-and-run case. And through the investigation in that hit and run, it just kept evolving and getting further and further into it until now they know the leaders of this cartel and they're seeking charges and indictments on them. Absolutely amazing. Love it. I love to see it. And this just goes to show that we are going after the cartels. This is another story, like I was saying earlier. If you just look at the pattern that is unfolding in front of us, the pattern shows we're going after the cartels. The cartels' days are numbered. Absolutely. And I love it. Love to see it. From here, we have yet another story, another big win for the Department of Justice. 5 Indian hotel operators have now been charged with using minors to run drug and sex trafficking rings out of Nebraska. Guys, it's all over the place. These are issues all over the place. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Nebraska announced on Thursday that 5 people have been arrested and charged in connection with the human trafficking ring in the Omaha metro area. A total of 10 minors were rescued, as well as 17 adult victims. So 27 victims in total were rescued. In the morning hours of August 12th, federal search warrant were carried out at the America Inn, the Inn, and the New Victorian, all in Omaha, as well as the Roadway Inn in nearby Bellevue. Per U.S. Attorney for the District of Nebraska, Leslie Woods, a total of 14 warrants were carried out at area businesses, with the rest of the businesses being brow and lash salons in the area. Those arrested were 36-year-old Kantaku Chadhari. So basically four members of the Chadhari family. I'm assuming they're related because they have the last name. And then 42-year-old Rashmi Ajit Samani. So he is the 5th one. So 4 members of the Chadhari family and someone else with the last name Samani. So, a bunch of people that probably shouldn't be here in the first place. That center around their alleged conspiracy to engage in labor trafficking, sex trafficking, and harboring of aliens at several hotels located across the Omaha metro area. So not only were they doing all sorts of trafficking with drugs and people, but they were also harboring illegal aliens, it seems like. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing to see. I'm glad that we have a government actually doing investigative work again. I'm glad to see the federal government going into these places and tackling these disgusting people, the absolute bottom scum of society. It's great. I love to see it. During the operation, law enforcement officers rescued 10 minors from an alleged labor trafficking conspiracy that involved putting children under the age of 12 years old to work at hotels for long hours with little to no pay. 17 adult victims were also rescued from the same conspiracy. The office said that the victims were subjected to exploitative conditions while being required to pay the defendants for their long lodging at the hotels, which were described as unclean, unsafe, and unhealthy. One source working with the government entered a hotel room where immigrant victims were sleeping on the floor of the room with cockroaches crawling on the victims as they slept. That's disgusting. So yeah, absolutely massive win for the Department of Justice. I hope all of these guys, again, people like this, you don't let them back into society. People like this, people that were helping facilitate this, you don't let them back into society. There's no rehabilitation for a person like this that does this kind of thing. There just isn't. They're